of those off the beach when he first moved into
Oh, yeah?
town. Yep. Great. Almost like the first week it was here.
Uh-huh.
I got Justin and we all went out together and
You guys are live.
went in my boat and that was it.
You saw my text about Mackenzie.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did. The salt was delivered already.
Correct. Yeah, and Jimmy was pretty pleased with the product. So New Zealand salt passes the first test.
Good.
That's good.
And I don't need to read now, but the Nortrax, that was it all
I've never
list
heard
of
of
stuff
that
this
name,
time
no.
again. Oh, you can.
I was waiting for someone to ask me.
Really? Is it?
I thought it was going to be coming from farther down the table.
Well, nobody can see it. Nobody can see it, right?
Here you are.
I guess so.
You take a gander at that one.
That's a lot, though. That's all, I mean, 8,000 worth of.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I saw that number.
Yep.
Take a
Because it
peek.
just had quite a bit of work done last year, right?
Yeah, that was a little
Yep.
higher than I was hoping for, but
Yep, it's all labor. Well, no. I mean,
Maybe.
there's a good
and they tell you
labor.
your stabilizer cables need to kind of have, a ton of rust built up.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Gotta clean it. What are you gonna do?
No, it has to be done, that's for sure. It's part of owning an older piece of machinery.
Yeah, the parts list isn't too bad.
No. All right, I've got 5:00. I'll call the meeting to order. Today, Monday, October 7th at 5 PM. Roll call is Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Mike Mansalilli, Kevin Buck, myself, Jamie Thurlow, Town Manager Chris Saunders, and the Town Clerk Petey Dandring will be joining us shortly.
I make a motion to exclude Mackenzie Jewett.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to excuse Mackenzie Jewett from tonight's meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor? Adoption of agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to change? All right. I guess the first thing is a public hearing. We have a public hearing for the general assistance ordinance. And I will open the public hearing at 5:03. Any comments?
Not for me.
Okay, I will close the public hearing at 5:04. All right. Regular business. We have approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of September 25th, 2019.
Second?
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 25th, 2019. Any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of warrants. We have warrants, fiscal year 19, we have warrant 148 for $100. And then for FY 20, we have warrant 28 for $9,412.54. Warrant 29 for $5,620. Warrant 30 for $9,550.43. Warrant 31 for $13,331.17. Warrant 32 for $9,450.55. 33, $3,802.70. 34 for $113,910.74. Warrant 35 for $9,648.59.
Make a motion to approve warrant 148 from fiscal year 19 and warrants 28 through 35 from fiscal year 20.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants as listed. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, committee appointments. We have one seat open on the rec board. And we have one applicant.
We have 2 seats open.
Two seats open, sorry. And only one applicant, though.
Unfortunately.
We have Jessica Bass that would like to get a seat on the rec board.
I make a motion to appoint Jessica Bass to the seat on the Recreation Board expiring June 30th, 2022.
Second?
Been moved and seconded to appoint Jessica Bass to the seat on the Recreation Board expiring June 30th, 2022. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, from the regular business. Fee schedule. This is the discussion of possible amendment to the fee schedule to increase the registration agent fee from $4 to $6 for new vehicle registrations and $3 to $5 for vehicle registration renewals. You want to add anything to that, Chris? Is it just?
Only thing I'll add is that I made it as a typo in my memo, and if you read the draft motion, I accidentally have $4 for the re-registration, and of course that's $5.
Okay.
Is what it says in the agenda.
Yep.
So if whoever makes that motion, make sure you say $5 there.
I make a motion to increase the service fee for new vehicle registrations to $6 and re-registrations to $5 and to sign the October 7th, 2019 version of the fee schedule.
All right. Is there no second? And you want to discuss?
I guess I don't know why we have to raise it, I guess.
What are the other towns?
Bar Harbor just raised theirs.
So the law, legislator just passed this law recently in their first session in September, allowing the towns to have their agent who acts for motor vehicles to increase those fees. It is the choice of the towns to do that. It's not a requirement in that law. Right now, we've only seen Bar Harbor here. It was just in the newspaper, an article recently that they just did that increase for their fees.
Mhm.
Other than that, I don't know what other towns have done.
And honestly, Trio did it
So Trio
automatically
is our
for us.
software programmer who does the software for most municipalities throughout the state. And they already implemented that fee increase. But let the towns know that if they're not going to, then we need to go back and manually adjust those fees, so.
So in other words, every other town pretty much is probably doing it.
I mean, my feeling is that if they just went ahead and did that themselves, then the majority of the towns that they service have asked for that change within the system.
Have asked, well, the state has or they have, the town
No,
has?
so Trio is the system that all municipalities use for registrations and other things,
Yeah.
tax purposes and all that. It's a software program that we use. So motor vehicles forwards that information to the software system that this may be a change that you may want to implement in your software so that the towns don't have to manually do this for every single registration. If that's what they're going to do, just go ahead and build that into the software program. So they gave us an update And those new fees were built into their update.
And those fees are these ones that were
That is correct.
second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to increase the service fee for new vehicle registrations to $6 and the re-registrations to $5 and to sign the October 7th, 2019 version of the fee schedule. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Land use ordinance is the next thing. We have a discussion of the possible amendment to the land use ordinance to allow the code enforcer to issue home occupation permits. This just
Excuse me.
make life easier, basically, Chris, or
That's the
Yeah.
goal.
what does he currently have to do now?
Currently, you have to go to the planning board if you want a home occupation permit.
Okay. Just to say that you've moved into town or you built a new house or?
No. Home occupation is if you're running a business.
Oh,
out of
sorry,
your home.
yes, yeah.
So if you're, let's say, an accountant, and you have your accounting business out of your home, and maybe every once in a while a client comes to your house, but mostly you're just like
Okay.
working in your house. Technically, you need to have a planning board. You need to have home occupation permit for that. And after talking it over with John, a lot of the other towns that he works in, this is something that's just issued by the code enforcement officer. I do think that your representative of the planning board is here and might want to chime in.
Mark?
No, the planning board has not discussed this. We have a meeting tomorrow night and it's on the agenda.
Okay.
So that's basically, I want to give my own opinion
Yep.
about discussing it first with the board. So.
And the only reason this is on the agenda for tonight is just to sort of get that ball rolling. So if you wanted to express your opinion to the planning board, that you have the opportunity.
I think it's one more step towards being a business friendly town. I think it's a great idea. So it's just my opinion. I think Southwest Harbor does it already. I'm sure some other towns do, but
I think I'd like to see the planning board's input, obviously, before we make a decision. So,
No, I agree with Mike. I think it's, just a cumbersome thing. It's not necessary. But it'd be nice to hear from the planning board
I will
first.
say that not all home occupations are the same, that some have a greater impact than others.
Yeah.
And our permit ordinance doesn't always address those things.
Well, John's
So
always got the option.
maybe
you get the option to send it
something
to them.
that we need to look at as well. So.
Yeah, but John's always got the option of sending it to you, right? With this or
Well,
not.
There's no actual language here.
Yeah.
I mean, basically what I see from what is here is just he has the authority to approve any home-based business, home occupation.
I think just like but I think if we added something like at his discretion or something, like if there was an issue with buffering or noise or something, he said, well,
It's my understanding that our harbor, and I haven't looked at it fully, has kind of a two-tiered system where the code enforcement officer does have this power, but she, at a certain point, something kicks in, trips and says, well, this needs a little more review. And I don't know exactly how that works. I'm willing to.
I think it's based on the performance standards. Like they'll say like buffering, parking. If there's something he sees or he's like, well, this is questionable.
Yeah.
He'll kick it
Parking and
back.
Traffic is the one big thing. I would see.
Right.
Well, I think some of that too, Mark. I think he's got the discretion to do that with a lot of his permitting. If he feels like it should go to you guys, he can say, I think this should be a planning board decision. I believe he's got that option on several types of permits.
and how,
Maybe not, but I
It would depend how this was written,
Yeah.
the change, the amendment was
Yeah.
written.
and I just wonder how wide of a business space we're getting into, how big of a, where the line is drawn as far as,
Right, that's always
Yeah.
the issue. Yeah.
I would be interested just to see, have them look into it a little bit before we make a decision. It's just my 2 cents.
Look at other towns in the area. I mean, I thought Southwest Harbors was pretty simple. I'm sure Bar Harbors is a little more complex, but I think it was at his discretion.
Yeah, our ordinance is pretty bare bones when it comes to home occupation. It
Right.
doesn't say a whole lot.
I think you can have up to 2 employees too, if I remember right.
You can have 2 employees.
Yeah, yeah. So it
I got no
covers a
problem
little
with
bit of territory
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
Certainly, if you had a small takeout, you could do that as a home occupation, and it could cause quite a bit of traffic and have a greater impact than just somebody having an office in their home or
Yeah.
baking cookies to sell gods.
And I think that's, again, where it triggers one of the performance, like traffic volume. That's another.
Yeah.
If he says, well, geez, they're gonna generate more than 10 cars a day, then
Right.
of course he'd
right,
kick it to you guys and say, we need a review of this.
right.
Or any employees too. That would be that'd be an easy thing if they're gonna have any, besides themselves, any employees would be a quick
Yeah.
thing to kick over today.
You'd have to change the definition in the zoning ordinance then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think that was one of the defining things of home occupation is up to 2 employees.
No.
If I mean.
No, but I mean,
misquoted,
just a
but
trigger point to where they
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
turn it over to the planning board just to have them review
I would,
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd feel safe saying at the discretion of the code enforcement officer.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they're hired to do,
Yeah.
to pick up anything that's,
Oh,
Excuse
Well,
you.
yeah, I think we're all in agreement though. I think the planning board ought to weigh in on it before we make any call.
Yeah, I'll take that up tomorrow. I'll mention your comments. Concerns.
All right, so you want to table it for this meeting? I don't think there's any motion necessary, is there, Chris?
Sounds like you want to table it.
Perfect. All right, surplus property sale. I'm gonna let you go with this one.
I had someone who said they want to buy some of the steel culverts that are back behind the garage that have been there for goodness knows how long. I would have never guessed that someone would want to buy those, but I'm asking for your authorization to sell them.
I make a motion.
To town manager, at whatever price he wants to sell them.
Second.
It's been moved to authorize the town manager to sell the old culverts as he sees fit. Does that sound good? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, Municipal Review Committee Board of Directors. We have a nomination. There's no one that we have in mind or anything.
Goodness.
Okay.
It just came through as to the selectmen.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to give you an opportunity. Who wants to attend a monthly meeting? Howdy?
howdy, good one.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm all set, thanks.
No,
I got nothing.
no, okay,
It's fun.
nothing. No one has anything.
Next.
All right, so this is town manager's report.
All right. So I'll just say the last, I think, 3 weeks have been, I think, the busiest 3 weeks since I've been on the job. So it has just been one, I don't know, nothing bad, just really, really busy. So just putting that out there. Some major things that I've been up to, I went to a labor and employment law workshop. Our audit began today. That's one of the big things that's going on. So all the preparation for that has been happening over the last couple of weeks. And as we're auditing FY19, we're in FY20, and I'm preparing FY21. So it's all happening. We have been getting ready for this special town meeting on Thursday night. And then one of the reasons it was also so busy is that you had 2 special select board meetings between the last regular one and now. And so that's really requires a good amount of preparation. Some minor projects that have been going on. Did the first salt order of the year, and it was a good order. We liked the product that was delivered, so change of vendor, but still good product. I've been attending the bridge progress update meetings. I'm preparing for the beginning of the year meeting with our snowplow drivers, which will be happening in a couple weeks. I spoke with the MDOT traffic engineer who I had requested at your request to consider lowering the speed limit on Lighthouse Road, on the town section of that road. And he went out and he looked at it. He looked at a bunch of radar data that we had provided to him, and he determined that it is not appropriate to lower the speed limit to 15 miles an hour on that road. There's been no crash history on that road. There's just nothing to support it. And so it'll stay at 25 miles an hour, and I'll notify the residents who have been at meetings requesting that. So we'll get the word out. A couple weeks ago, we hosted some representatives from Frenchboro who wanted to learn how our office operated. So Katie and I gave them a walk through the office. I had check-ins with Mackenzie, Kevin, and Jamie. Mike, you and I still have to catch up. So when you want to, just send me a text, email, phone call.
Almost made it today.
I appreciate a few days' notice because usually I've got myself scheduled pretty thick. So I've been reaching out to Keith Higgins regarding the fire department MOU and the fire protection on Goff Island, again at your request, but so far I haven't heard back from him. So I'm still hoping to get that ball rolling. I attended a League of Towns meeting out on Swans Island. I attended the monthly Hancock County Planning Commissioner executive committee meeting. I had a meeting with Nat Fenton, Marty Lyons, and Spencer Irvin regarding administration of the Hinton Trust. So Nat Fenton has been the executive of that trust or the trustee of that trust for many years, but he is retiring, and so everyone's just trying to figure out who's going to take over that role once he retires. So we'll get back to you on that. I attended a grant funding workshop where I learned about some possible funding opportunities for the Harbor Masters Garage project. So might be able to put something together there. I had a meeting with Dwayne Reed at the Housing Authority. Just got an overview of their work in Tremont, sort of inspired by the last agenda, an item from last meeting's agenda about their 5-year plan. Just wanted to learn about what they do. I've been contacting the Hancock County Unified Court about once a month just to get an update on the Cousins case. There's no update, but I'd like to make sure that that's not getting forgotten. I renewed our workers' compensation insurance policy. Received our smoking signage finally from Healthy Acadia, and so I'll be having Public Works put those up over the next couple weeks. Completed the hiring of Chris Cipollone. There was a handout on your seat today. He'll be starting on November 4th and working through May, or end of April. And I've been working with the Hancock County Sheriff's Office and Keith Higgins to clarify enforcement of the fireworks ordinance. There was some concern that people were calling Keith to enforce that. Keith is not law enforcement, and so we want to make sure that the right folks are able to get out there when there's an issue. Last Friday, I had a staff appreciation pizza lunch, and I'll just take this opportunity to say that, amid it both a busy short-term period and just a long summer, I've been really pleased with how the staff has been working. Public Works had a huge road list of work this summer, and they did a really fantastic job at it. And the folks here in the town office have been really working hard, processing tax payments, giving directions to lost tourists, you name it, they can do it. And then I received a notice of a grant opportunity to do LED lighting in this room to cover 75% of the cost of converting this room to LED lighting. And so I'm working with Steve Stanley Electric to see if we can get that put together. We have LED lighting in the rest of the building, so this is the last room to do.
75%.
75% of the cost.
Yep.
Office staff, as I said, very busy. Mostly at this point, late tax payments and vehicle registrations. Somebody came in last Friday with a stack of, I think, 10 vehicle registrations at 2:30. It's always fun. The code enforcement officer has been in communication with the owner of 19 Shore Road and his contractor to urge them to take down that building. Again, it's not being forgotten. We are calling regularly. These things take time. They've been preparing for the special town meeting and preparing for the audit. Our public works crew been continuing ditching and brush clearing on Dodge Point Road. They replaced a culvert on Clark Point Road, which they should be paving this week. Fall maintenance on the trucks, getting them ready for winter, helping the surplus property sale buyers remove their items, fixing some washouts on Billings Hill up on Cape Road. They removed a bunch of junk behind the garage that had been accumulating there for a couple decades and took it to the household hazardous waste day. So that's nice. Mowing cemeteries, that'll probably start to tail off in the next few weeks. Been getting an estimate for removing ledge on Dodge Point Road. As a result of the road work there, they uncovered a pretty substantial chunk of ledge, and so that should be removed this week. And then after, I'm really disappointed to share this update with you, but after being in contact every 2 weeks, I had a regular phone call with the state DOT crew that works here, the crew leader, and say, are you going to replace those entrance culverts on Dodge Point, Dix Point, Cape Road, Hodgdon, and Rummel? And they came in on May 22nd and said, yep, that's on the list for the summer. We're doing it. Called every 2 weeks. I think you know how the story ends next summer. There were a whole host of excuses, but at the end of the day, it didn't get done. So I expressed my frustration, and they said, thanks for the call. They did do some very minor ditching on Tremont Road, and they did replace a driveway culvert this summer. The resident had wanted that culvert replaced for a very long time, and that happened. So I will say that did occur.
That's what we got.
But it's obviously not as much as what needs to happen.
We got one culvert this year in the whole town. I mean, come on.
I
You know,
strongly agree.
if we,
We're not on the back burner or anything, Chris.
not to interrupt your discussion.
Yeah.
If is that part of the agreement? Like if we put a culvert in, I know it's too late this year probably, but if we put a culvert in, if they drop the ball next spring and don't do it, if we put
So
it
we would
in
have to
and-
have, yep, so we would have to have a special agreement for that.
Yep.
Because our
okay.
standing one is just for ditching, brush clearing, pothole filling, that kind of
Yep.
thing.
Mhm.
But it's possible that they would approve us to replace a culvert. And I did think of that. Our crew is laid out right now.
Oh yeah,
They
it's
just don't
now,
have
but
time.
I just
I
meant for
would-
spring to be
Yeah.
ready. So if it does happen again, if they drop the
Yeah.
ball, then
Exactly. And it's going to be,
The same thing next year, probably. They got one more culvert.
yeah. And I fully expect this them to say, okay, we're definitely going to do it this year. And I'm going to say, you said that last year, just give us the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and they might.
Mhm.
I can't. I don't know the answer until we go through it. But I just know this year, I'm very frustrated, but that is what it is. And then last of all, they fixed some signs at the end of Rummel Road. Our harbor master, you'll be shocked to learn, has been very busy this fall, this past few weeks. We had a harbor committee meeting where they narrowed down the list of select bidders for the wharf reconstruction, and Greg Johnston has been contacting them, and he's gotten a lot of, I think there's 7 of them. One of them that the harbor committee identified immediately said not interested, and he did fill in that slot. So they've got a pretty good list that we're working with. Lots of wharf cleanup with some of the storms that have come through. There have been some major trap snarls that Justin has been helping to untangle. Rescued a few different sailboats, rescued a couple skiffs. It's been helping the public works crew with road work and with the excavator. Hauling off traps from Seal Cove and the wharf. Repaired the ferry terminal gangway, roller, and bearings. Adjusted lights at Seal Cove. He cleaned up a small fuel spill that was in the parking lot. He helped Dan Damon, who's the tenant at the wharf garage, with a drain at the wharf garage. He's wrapping up wharf permits for the year, got almost all of them. Replacing some outlets at the wharf that were corroded from salt. He has been on the front lines of trying to recruit CDL drivers, and I'll take this point to encourage you, if you know anyone who wants to be a CDL driver for the town, $19.51 an hour. We are hard up for CDL drivers this year. We've been advertising in the paper, and I'll keep advertising. I'll keep putting the word out there. Truck and backhoe maintenance is ongoing. Justin has been working on helping out with that. Justin's been researching getting a new electric hoist motor so we can have one on standby if the current one goes out. He's been working with DMR to resolve a trap issue, and he fixed a mooring issue in Seal Cove. Some priorities over the next couple weeks. I will be continuing to spread the word about recruiting CDL drivers. We've got the audit going on this week. Budget work for FY21. We'll be starting getting the project to cover that rebar at Seal Cove. We're going to go out there tomorrow and we'll discuss, where to place things, and then that should be getting started pretty quick now. I'm researching that sidewalk plow rental that we discussed at a previous meeting. One of the concerns that I have that I'm going to be looking into is a lot of the the mailboxes on the sidewalk narrow the sidewalk. So if the sidewalk plow is not narrow enough, it will just knock those over every time, and that will create more of a problem than it's worth. So that's just one of the questions: are the plows narrow enough? So I'm going to go out and measure and call the rental companies. Yeah.
Do we ever find out why they have those in the sidewalk? Why they had to put them back there?
Part of the design of when they did that project.
I mean,
And then, of course, you have the special town meeting Thursday at 6 o'clock. And then I will be out of town next week, but I'm just a phone call away. Any questions?
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
Okay, suggestions for next meeting. Next meeting date.
Make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, October 21st, 2019 at 5 PM right here.
second.
This is the next normal meeting.
Yeah, not town meeting.
Well, it's a town meeting.
Okay, the
Not a
other.
select board meeting.
Okay. Yep. It's been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next regular meeting for Monday, October 21st, 2019 at 5 PM at the town office. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Getting more comfortable with this.
One more? $9,000 phone calls as soon as I sit down.
You seem to stop, doesn't it?
Stay afloat.
I find if you stop answering, eventually they don't get as many calls.
Yeah, I know.
And half the ones you get, some looks like a local number and